This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 209 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
209 in the first episode that Nicole has headphones that she's not going to complain about, hold against me, hold against Bobby.
I wasn't holding anything against anybody. They started itching.
Yeah.
And you love having a headset. It's like you must have worn did you wear headbands as a child? I hated headbands. They always gave me headaches.
Actually, I did. I had a Nike headband.
You
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Did you have long hair?
You remember when, kids would part their hair in the middle and they'd grow their hair down to their ears, but we would shave. You would shave up your entire, side of your head.
One side, yeah.
And then you would let the hair drop over.
What grade were you?
Side of your head.
You must have been in third grade.
This is I don't know, 4th, 5th grade-ish. Yeah, and then you'd wear the headband underneath. It'd just feel cool, just it was a good feeling.
So what? The hair was over it?
The hair was over, but the sides of your head were shaved.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah. All right.
It's so funny because my kid has to dress as 90s. It's like a spirit week at school, and my husband and I are both like, "What does that even mean?" But maybe I need to give him a headband or something because that was probably well
there's
into
a
the
lot
90s.
A lot of different things from 90s, and you
know what?
What?
Like a no, not a windbreaker. I feel like we always went to Bob's and got
a starter jacket for one,
and what's it called?
Bob's,
what's that print? What's that print? Plaid,
Zillow?
Plaid shirts. No, we wore plaid shirts. Anyway.
Well, everybody got to learn about the 90s that didn't know about it on this last week's Super Bowl.
Well, which I was going to say it loops right into our Marketeer of the Week. But you didn't love it. You didn't love it. You put it as number 2, but I loved it. I wanted a little bit more Snoop.
I mean, does number 2 not mean loving it? Does the number 2 halftime show of all time not mean loving it?
It was number 1. Was it short or was I just enjoying it that much? So it was short.
That's why I ranked it number 2. There should have been more songs. I could have done without Kendrick Lamar. I could have done without that one song from Mary J. Blige. I thought she didn't even really, but I would.
It didn't look like she was singing. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
but
I would have done more with Dre and Snoop.
We needed
and
more.
50 was a treat.
Yeah,
but nothing.
We definitely needed more Snoop. I needed more Snoop. I mean, he had the outfit on. I love Snoop. I actually listened to him all morning long, getting myself ready.
Absolutely nothing beats 1993. MJ, Michael Jackson. That was the greatest halftime show of all time. Bobby on his Instagram story,
he said Bruno Mars.
And I wrote to Bobby.
Well, Byron actually called me. He's like, I think we need to fire Bobby.
Yeah. I wrote to him, that's a fireable offense, saying Bruno Mars is the best halftime show of all time. That's ridiculous. Yeah. All right, let's get into the Rackets. We've got double Zillow topics. They are back in the news. The stock is going back up. And then we do have a Marketeer that ties back into the Super Bowl. So Racket number 1, Zillow's plan is to double agents' business by 2025. So Zillow's audacious plan is double premier agent business by 25 after shuttering Zillow offers, which we talked about a whole bunch when they did it at the end of the year. Yep. The company's going back to its agent lead gen roots. Nicole, did we not say this over and over again? They will go back to basics, back to basics.
Well, they never really left the basics, but obviously now they're doubling down on it.
But this is now the core focus. Instead of getting diverted into this Zillow offers thing, their focus is what it should have always been, agent lead generation. They have, and according to the earnings report that came out last week, they have 63% of daily active app users. Realtor.com's at 20.2%, Redfin's at 13.4%. Then you have Apartments.com, Racket, CoStar, which is HomeSnap, CoStar also owning Homes.com. That's making up just, a few percentage points on the pie chart. Zillow at 63% should have never strayed from what got them here, which is the attention of the consumer, and they can monetize that with selling those leads to the agents. Okay, so they've generated $1.5 billion in revenue this past year with their premier agent program, and their plan is to double that, so from 1.5 to 3 billion by 2025. The new strategy is the company going back to its roots. Nicole, this is we've said this last year. We said it was a good idea. So I don't even think we're both in agreement there. This is the direction they should be going in.
Mm-hmm.
Is there more room for them to grow agent business? Is if 63% of people are already using the app and they're handing these leads off either by market-based pricing or with their flex partners, right? So they do a lot of flex partner deals in certain markets where they're getting anywhere from a 30 to 35% referral fee. And then there are some overflow leads and other markets where they just do market-based pricing and sell zip codes.
Right.
Is there more room for them to grow either of those businesses?
Well, I mean, obviously, I do think that there is. I think because again, further down in there, in this article too, it's talking about Zillow Mortgage. I think if they probably put the gas on that too, that would even generate some more
Zillow
leads.
Mortgage,
And I
by
think
the way, is
potentially even. Oh, see, Bobby, I got unplugged.
oh, look at those
Jeepers
headphones
creepers. See, day one, I'm
ruined.
already
But
failing. All right, now I can hear you, Byron.
so I was just going to say, when you mentioned Zillow Mortgage, unprofitable to this point, losing 50 million, which is so surprising.
I agree. But I think where it'll help though is again, so all of our agents are always complaining about like they're not good leads, they're not qualified. I mean, if you're able to even pre-qualify these buyers before, I think that there'll be even I think even more agents will want to jump on board with that because then there's obviously a little bit more value add. We're gonna have to figure something out here, Bobby, because now I'm scared. I'm just gonna keep unplugging this, but.
Well, there's no question that the mortgage brings them a huge opportunity. If they're unprofitable, that's most brokers' most profitable auxiliary product. It's the most profitable part of their business. A lot of these big brokerages.
Well, I think that it keeps the real estate end afloat for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and so them figuring out how to be profitable there. But that's not the premier agent part that they're talking about doubling. Here's the numbers according to Zillow's earning reports. There were in 2021 12.2 million sides of a transaction based off of the 6.1 million homes sold. So really we're looking at 6.1 million buy-side consumer transactions, which is what Zillow really monetizes at the buy side. 4.1 million actual shoppers out of the 6.1 million used Zillow. 1.4 out of the 4.1 million, or 1.4 million out of the 6.1 who actually purchased, they sought a Zillow Premier agent. And then from there, 360,000 consumer transactions were generated from those 1.4 million buyers who sought out a Zillow Premier agent. That accounts for 3% of all transactions. So when we think Zillow is going to double up Premier Agent business, flex and market-based pricing, they just have to go from 3% of total transactions on the buy side only,
right,
to 6%.
Right.
Okay. So that's doable to me.
For sure.
That's doable. And I think I phrased that wrong. 3% of all buyer and seller transactions. Now, most of theirs were buy side.
Yeah.
So really, them going to 6% would be closer to, say, 12% of buy side transactions. Does that sound a little overambitious?
I don't think so. Again, I think that they're doubling down on this whole premier agent sector too. So they're making their teams be highly accountable to the calls, to the follow-up. So I think that as the agents get better on the follow-up, and Zillow is, picking agents that can deliver the service that they require, why wouldn't they be able to close 12% of the deals at that point? I mean, they're really trying to, not just give the agent a lead, but make sure that they're keep maintaining control of that agent so that those deals are closing. So no, I mean, I think it's totally feasible based on what they're now doing with the agent premier sector part of their business.
Zillow owning 12+% of all buy-side transactions by 2025 is going to happen. 63% of people use the app to search for homes. I've got no question in my mind that number will grow. Google of real estate is Zillow, and them doubling up their premier agent business and going to 12% is kind of baked in the cake. I like that phrase now, Nicole. If you
Baked in
notice, I
the
use that a
cake?
lot. Baked in the cake.
I think that's the first time I've heard you use it. Maybe we
I
haven't
used it like 3 times. We were on the phone for like 3 hours yesterday, and I used
baked
it at
in.
least 3 times.
What do you taking notes? You keeping like a chart,
Yeah, I'm
like
like, okay,
scratches, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, like you.
am I
I
overusing this? Like you've got words you overuse all the time. Yeah.
I don't know that I overuse them. I think they're just they're like my catchphrase. Like it's like my you know how much I love logos. It's like some of them are just my logo, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of those. All right. So we didn't go through the whole earnings report there, just really focused in on that one claim. That was their biggest claim in the earnings report. That they would double that premier agent business, obviously getting rid of any revenue from, from selling homes. They're not doing that from the offers program. They're going to need to make up that revenue somewhere. I believe they'll do it. You can see, we have an Inman article here. And this is from Mike Del Preti. We've covered him. He's got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's got some charts here, where their revenue goal is going. I mean, it's just a 2x in this short period of time.
There's so many graphs. You love graphs.
I love the graphs.
Yep.
I do love the graphs. And you can see there a loss of $50 million for the mortgage business. We're going to talk, when we talk about the Marketeer, we're going to talk about this race to really everybody trying to go after the full transaction. And as their premier agent business grows, I can promise you premier agent partners are going to be pressured in to using, or at least getting the consumer a quote from a Zillow loan company. Yeah. So everybody that's working under a brokerage right now, they want you to use broker mortgage companies.
Well, they put a lot of pressure on you to use
for
their
sure.
broker. Yeah.
And the pressure is going to come from your broker. The pressure is going to come from your lead sources, whether it be Zillow or whoever. And it's also going to come from your local lender that you would network with and do events with.
That
and those
takes
kind
you
of
out
things.
For cocktails. Yeah.
Everybody's going to want the full transaction. And Nicole, I tell you what, Zillow will be buying out indie real estate companies at some point, and they will go full brokerage to get more of the full transaction. That day's coming for sure. I don't even, I'm not even 99% on it anymore. I'm 100% on that.
100?
Yeah. All right, racket number 2. Zillow
back at it.
Their 2022 housing forecast is way off. They now are saying home prices are set to spike 16% this year. Last year, year over year, was 20%, which many have said is unsustainable. We'd agree with that, right? 20% year over year.
Yep.
Unsustainable. And I saw a lot of reports that they were at 13%. This article, Fortune,
saying 11,
says they were at 11.
Yep.
Anyways, they're up to 16.4% between December 2021 and December 2022. So kind of like they admitted, hey, we don't know how to value homes on the Zillow offer program. They're saying, hey, we were wrong on our first prediction on home appreciation. Yeah. And this is where we think it's going. Nicole, I've said double digits for sure. I've been a little less bullish than some of these reports I've seen, 13 and 16%. Goldman Sachs, I think, was at 13.5%, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, they were. Are you in the high teens like Zillow, or are you?
I mean, we're already seeing it. I mean, I can't tell you how many homes probably in the last, I would say 3 weeks, are these homes that people legitimately just bought like 6, 7, 8 months ago, and they're putting them back on for maybe like $10,000 over what they bought it for, and they are getting multiple offers going for like well over ask. I mean, they haven't closed obviously yet because they haven't closed. But I definitely see, I'm probably in the mid-teens. I mean, just to play it safe, like, why not? We'll say 15. But I mean, again, right off the bat, we're already seeing these homes. Again, a $300,000 home going on for $10,000 over. I mean, you're already hitting that number just on the list price. So, I mean, it's just it's bonkers. Who knew? Who knew? But
And remember, when these prices are reported, when February's numbers are reported, those are lagging indicators. When we're looking
right.
at closed sales, these were things that happened in November and December. So it's when anytime you look at price in real estate closings, it's yesterday's data. It's what happened in the past. And that's where I do believe you're going to see price appreciation this entire year, because right now we're dealing with low inventory. So everything that happens 2 months from now is going to reflect a competitive situation,
Right.
people bidding against each other.
Well, which will obviously only fuel the spring market even more, because now you have the comps for all those homes that are coming on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I do believe, and why I'm probably closer to 10% appreciation when the year kind of all shakes out, is that somewhere towards the end of the year, we will have an inflection point.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's in quarter four, then you're right. We could see 16.4% home price appreciation for this year. But at some point, we're going to start to see interest rates get so high that buyers drop out of the market. We're going to start to see more inventory come on. Ivy Zellman last week said 1.5 million new construction homes hitting in 2023. And if investors, like we said last week, put homes on the market, you will eventually see prices start to cool. There is going to be a point that happens, but those prices probably won't reflect 2022 numbers. They're going to be all 2023 numbers. So it could very well get to 16.4%, like Zillow is now predicting. There's a nice little
bonkers. I mean, I guess we can only talk about our area. I don't see the inventory catching up to the demand at this point. But
like
but
Ivy
again,
said
I'm just talking strictly about our area, obviously.
Go check out last week's podcast. Ivy Zellman, who predicted the last housing crash, who's really, she's one of the smartest real estate researchers in the game. She's saying that this 1.5 million homes is really going to impact inventory next year, which would impact pricing. If you can go back and watch that, but she did say it was area specific. So when Nicole's saying I'm looking at the market of Connecticut, there's not new construction happening there. So when there's no inventory right now, it's going to take a while for Connecticut to catch up. By the way, last time there was a crash, the Northeast lagged places like Vegas and Florida and Texas that had heavy new construction. They were hit hard in the beginning. Then it took a year or two
At least
for the prices in Connecticut to all the way drop, that where those
but it's
markets dropped
also
a lot
taken
quicker.
us, though, how long? 10,
It took us a
15
lot longer to come back.
years to get back.
So, and that happens a lot in the Northeast, where we'll be way behind when those other markets come back, just based off of, influx of new residents and those kind of things. And then same thing on when it drops. So
Right.
I'm starting to see that same trend kind of play out early. You're going to see, I do not want to sound like I'm calling a crash or anything like that. I don't think we're going to see a crash as big as we saw last time. I'm not saying any of those things. And I do believe 2022, right on the money with everybody, like home values are going to go up. We're already sitting, in the middle of Q1, and it's evident that for the next 3 to 4 months, we're not going to have an inventory issue being solved here. So numbers for at least the next 6 months are going to continue to go up. All right, let's go to the Marketeer.
Oh boy.
Super Bowl.
Gotta.
Best Super Bowl commercial. A lot of people are saying this is the best.
Ooh, the best.
I've heard a lot of people say it.
I think it was certainly the most entertaining. It's funny though, because I was at a party and I wasn't paying attention, and obviously everyone was like, Nicole. So I think everyone was entertained by it. At least the people I was around were entertained by it.
Rocket Homes and Rocket Mortgage Super Bowl 56 commercial, Dream House with Anna Kendrick and Barbie. So they've got all these little Barbie names, House Flipper Skipper. Now, are these going to be real Barbie dolls as well? Is this like a total collab where Barbie's making these
I
Barbie
doubt it,
dolls?
but how smart were they to collab with Barbie? I mean, nothing like pulling some some heavy hitter names there.
I don't know. There might be an opportunity for
I
them
loved
to
it.
make these dolls. House
Maybe.
Flipper Skipper, Better
You think
Offer Betty.
yeah?
Better Offer Betty. Was that the other one?
I liked Better Offer Betty. What was the other one, Bobby?
Cash Offer Carl.
Oh yeah, Cash Offer. I like Better Offer Betty.
So really entertaining. They obviously got, a lot of social media buzz off of this commercial, makes them the marketeer of the week. But it also just highlights for agents how much these companies are coming after the full transaction. I mean, they are marketing side by side with Rocket Mortgage, largest mortgage company in America, this Rocket Homes element. Now, we went over the numbers. Zillow put them into their earnings report. Rocket only has 1.13% of people using their app to search for homes, but Rocket Mortgage has a huge lead flow of people looking for mortgages. And
Yeah.
they are now capitalizing off of selling those leads back to agents. They don't want you bringing their agent to the table. Of course, they want you using their loan, but Rocket wants to place you with an agent.
Right.
So everybody is going after the entire transaction, title, mortgage, the agent services, and Rocket's no different.
Are you waiting for me to say something?
Are you worried about that, Nicole?
No, I agree. I mean, it's smart. I mean, think about how many times, you had a buyer come to you and they've had like, gosh, any ABC mortgage. And because you feel more comfortable with your mortgage person, you're now offering your guy. So again, if they're handing this lead off to an agent that they've partnered with, they definitely are, trying to maintain the fact that the mortgage will actually go through with them too. So again, it'll be fun to see what happens. Again, I love the commercial though. Again, wildly entertaining and very smart.
They made a lot of noise with this commercial in the sense that I got a few DMs and also a few text messages where people asked me, agents, do you have a contact with Rocket?
Oh, really?
Because people want to get lead. Like, it's like, hey, no, you do, Zillow
Look
Flex
what they're
or whatever.
doing.
Like,
Yeah.
do you have a contact? Are you getting leads right now from Rocket Homes? Like, people are like,
All
man, that's a
from
lead
the
pillar for
commercial.
me.
Look at that. Huh.
I got to ask TF if he's got a contact. Rocket
Very
Homes.
interesting.
I'm like, I ain't giving you the contact till I get
Right?
the contact. Rocket Homes, hit us up. We're ready to go. All right, congrats! You guys are the marketeer of the week. Maybe I'll get you.
It was 6 million. It was 6 million well spent.
Maybe I'll get you the House Flipper Skipper, Nicole. They should have named it House Flipper Nicole.
Well, that wouldn't make sense. It doesn't rhyme.
And
I'm not a Barbie. Skipper is a Barbie.
Is that a real Barbie? Skipper?
Skipper. Yeah. Skipper
Are you
is
sure
like
about that?
Yeah, she's like the tween version of Barbie. Skipper.
How'd you know that?
Well, because I was a huge Barbie lover. Like,
really?
It's all I played with and all I did. Yep, I had like the pink Corvette. Oh yeah. Huge Barbie lover.
Didn't know that. All right.
Yes, it went with the 90s, with the Dre and Snoop. I mean, it hit every corner of my childhood, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought it was a total 90s Super Bowl. They should do that every year.
Total flashback. I loved it. Yep.
All right, which commercial did you like the best? Are you worried about Rocket in the comments? And what are your thoughts? Will Zillow double up agent premier business by 2025? Love to hear from you. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.